morning. We made it to New Bern, North Carolina. Our hotel was about 1.5 miles away from downtown. I just went on a little walk, had a little breakfast first, and we're about to see the town. But I want to show you some of the top things to do in New Bern, and we have one surprise for you at the end, so make sure you wait. It's kind of a cool little deal. I had no idea it was here. It is. It's really neat, so please watch. We'll get you that, but first, here's New Bern. On the west side of town, there's a palace they call the Tryon Palace, and it's a collection of historic sites and buildings back from time about the Revolution. And they've got gardens, and at the southern end here, you can see the Governor's Palace. But what a lot of this you have to pay to get in and get tours. I guess they're fantastic. They have people dressed up in costume to kind of represent the period that these would have been active. I don't have time to do that today, but that might be something that you check out. There's a lot of people in line that come even 2 weeks after a hurricane here, so they said things were really slow, but there's still lines. However, there were some free gardens. I'm going to show you those in a second. So this is the Tryon Palace area, kind of on a map, and where I just had stopped, I came down walking down Pollock Street here. These gardens are free if you want to just walk through them. You can buy a ticket, and it's about a 45-minute tour to kind of go through this whole thing, guided. This is the Governor's Palace. This is also a ticketed area, so you need to get a pass to come in here. It wasn't expensive. It was like $6, and there's another category for $12. So I think there's a couple different tours and levels of access if you want them. But these are pretty fantastic gardens and a really neat governor's mansion. These are some docks at the History Center. And we are 50 miles or so inland from the ocean itself. But they said here they still had a 14-foot surge. So you can imagine a couple weeks ago that all this was underwater. So I'm at the north entrance of the History Center, and I just showed you those docks where the water was going to be. Well, they said they had some flooding in some buildings. I'm guessing it was this one because the History Center is closed for repairs right now. So we'll keep going, but this is definitely one of the other places that you should check out. The storm surge got to 13.5 to 14 feet here. And to give you an idea what that was, here is a pole with some of the last flooding. So we had 7.5 feet here at 1913. 1955, it was 8.6 feet. 9.7 feet in 1933. 10.6 feet in 1955. And if we keep going up, that'll be between 13.5 and 14 feet from the last hurricane from a couple weeks ago. And to give you an idea, that put the water inside the building, and that's why it's closed. Next on a tour of New Bern is Union Point. This is the southeast side of town here. So Union Point would be a great place to come and have a picnic or lunch. It's a good, just kind of there's a bunch of school kids here right now, but I bet if they weren't here, it'd be a super quiet, nice place to have just a little break if you need to kind of get out of town a little bit. It's just a short walk from the downtown area, just a couple blocks. Another thing to do is walk around the shops and restaurants in downtown New Bern. It's really cute downtown, lots of little places to go, kind of poke your head into. It's art and food. Well, it's cool. The architecture around here is really neat. When you visit, don't miss Christ Episcopal Church. It's one of the oldest churches in the Carolinas and one of the older ones in the country. The church itself has been remodeled a couple different times, but it's still the same location that it originally was. It's still an active church, and the architecture around it is beautiful. All right, to give you a little context on when this church was built, it was originally founded in 1715. That's about 60 to 75 years before the Revolutionary War. And in this graveyard over there, there's two mass graves that have about 200 bodies each, and those date back from the early 1700s or mid 1700s when there was a yellow fever outbreak. But today you can come up and visit. It's a very pretty place and definitely worth a stop. Hi, stopping for a burger at the Beer Army. Supposedly this is the place to go for lunch, so we're gonna check it out. But just to give you an idea, kind of a cool looking place. It's right across the street from the church we just stopped at, and give you a shot of it here in a second. The burger was great, and they've got this beer sniper thing. So if you come in and drink a beer every day for a month, they put your name up on the board. It's kind of funny, but check out their gift shop as well. All right, one last famous place in New Bern is Mitchell Hardware. It was started in the late 1800s and moved across the street into this building in 1912. And as you're going through here, the floors are original. This used to be a tin factory before they moved in, and so the ceiling was actually made in the building here, but today it's this hardware store, and it's kind of a neat place. So I'll give you a little tour. And they've got everything from your normal hardware stuff to a little store in the back here. Okay, that one surprising thing I was telling you about at the beginning is right over here. This is the birthplace of Pepsi. It used to be called Brad's Drink. It was created right here, and they remarketed it as Pepsi after about 1898. So we'll get you in the shop and you can see the birthplace of Pepsi. So welcome to the birthplace of Pepsi Cola. This used to be originally a pharmacy, and the pharmacist developed a drink called Brad's Drink, and then it was remarketed as Pepsi later on. This is the original building and location where it was. The floors are the same. Most of the things in here are replicas after that, but the store is split up into two different sides. There's a lot of vintage equipment in here, but you can come to the bar and have a drink. If you go to the other side, it's a gift store, and this is where it is. It's cool. It's a nice place to stop and visit. But anyways, if you're downtown New Bern, make sure you stop here. It's a little bit of history, kind of a fun place. It's a name everybody recognizes. And we'll keep walking after this. So the highlights, again, were the Governor's Mansion, the Historic Society, Union Point, and walking around downtown. We had the hardware store, that was great, and also the birthplace of Pepsi. Check those out. Plus, we saw a really neat church, and there's so much more to do. I wish I had more time, but next time I'm going to check the Firehouse Museum, and if I had another day or two, I'd also drive the 50 miles down to the ocean, check out Atlantic Beach, Beaufort, and some of the other cities and activities around here. There's also the Croatan National Forest, so if you're staying longer, check out those things as well. I'll put links to that in my blog and also to in the comments here. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and you guys have a great day.